crazy. This whole thing is screen. Vibes. Yo, where is vibes exactly, bro? Like in this universe. like, yo, like, where the fuck is vibes? Yo. It's all the way to the west. So this is like a, let's go more here. It's mainly empty over here. I wonder if there's any parcels for sale. This must be a new spot. Why do I please live so far away? There's gotta be a reason for it. So let's look at the map. Let's go back and see. OCE map is. Some parcels are for sale. There's gotta be more land than this. Unless you prepare to spend a few $1,000, which yeah, I think about it. You're not spending tens of thousands of dollars on real estate. Seems reasonable, scalable. Monetize its space, make real money, charge rent. Seems reasonable to me. It seems far-fetched. Reload. Oh yeah, feel it. Something there. Where's my head? My hands, baby. Don't do me like this. Alright, we out of here then. I'll take this treatment. Okay. Alright, see what we got here. The most popular parcel. Is there a reason why I don't see yet why it's so important? Let's go inside. Looks very barren in here. I don't know what this is and why it's important. So we're out of here. Looking for the party, son. Let's see what's happening event-wise this morning. Free space, productive uncertainty. Let's check it out. Give me 80s vibes right here, bro. Like pop locking, son. I'm not a pop locker. I feel like it though. I think I've been here. Yeah, I've been here. I was here yesterday. Alright, we gotta find something else popping. This wasn't very exciting. That was too crowded. Let's see what's happening. San Francisco, Trap Ave, Neil Craft School World. I think we've been there. What's this? Attack Street. Let's check this shit out. Let's check it out, Brad. Check it out, Brad. Wait for it to load. Everything's slow today. I restarted my machine. And I actually think it's the Twitch studio program slowing everything down there. So going forward, I'll be looking at doing an OBS studio, something with more streamlined. Even though I do like the utility of Twitch studio. Alright, I don't see the exhibit here. Is it still loading? Am I missing it, y'all? It is so dry today. Try something else. I don't see Nathan, bro. Let's see what's this over here. Is this parcel available? Like, how can you tell if this? I guess you can't. I guess you gotta go to the listing. Let's go inside here for a little bit. Not really feeling this gallery, to be honest. It's not catching me. Yo, let's actually, while we're here, let's just check out and see what One Off is doing. At least we'll know we get some good art. Because we getting nothing but whack juice today, brother. Second to load. Tomorrow I'm going to try to get Decentraland together so we can do a little trip through Sotheby's and Decentraland. I wonder if they have a CV space. I'm going to check my Googles real quick. Let me hit you with these dance moves real quick while I check my Googles. There we go. see here. Share this article with you real quick.
Can you come
Flip over.
a little closer? Not too close. I need my space to show you how I can love you. Can you speak a little louder? Not too loud. I need your ears.
So Crypto Craze Sotheby's launches its first virtual gallery in digital metaverse Decentraland. This is in June.
Don't try too hard to make sense. Free your mind.
I visited. I couldn't see a whole lot.
The time of your life when you feel you're lost and lonely. Don't be scared.
I don't see anything about
You're ready to reach out.
crypto voxels, which I think would probably be better. I think it's more. See, I mean, Decentraland is dope. Graphics wise, it's great. I love it, but I'm not sure it has the same cohesion as Crypto Voxels has. Like, I feel like this is all one land, whereas in Decentraland, I still feel like I'm playing a game. I don't know. Agree, disagree. I prefer Crypto Voxels for the activity, and maybe I just need to spend money on a lot more RAM. But I feel like if these metaverse spaces are going to be determined on how much RAM you have in your computer, like, it's really going to limit the usefulness of it. It needs to be able to work on your phone, and I know Crypto Voxels is not perfect. It works on my phone, on an Android phone. So I don't know. Again, these are only 2 spaces out of who knows hundreds of spaces that will pop up in the metaverse. Okay, guys, I'm making a quick break while I'm looking for something else to do. Check out this next. You may have seen me play this a couple of times, but it's very worth listening to. But it's the we just released it. Craig Blackmore, Rock the Block. Very informative. Check this out and I'll be right back.
Okay, welcome to Rock the Block. I'm your host, John Block, and we are here for Low Key Giants Rock the Block. We have a special guest in the house. Super excited about Mr. Craig Blackmore. How are you today, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, man. So happy that you are here. I've seen your work around the space. I've seen your work around Metaverse and crypto voxels and places like that.
Okay, John, in the house.
To actually see your face and talk with you today. I mean, I'm thinking like right off the bat, right? I've seen you do many things. I know, you built your venue,
JJ Bills,
illustration. I see 3D. Are you doing music as well? So tell me about you being a multidisciplinary artist. What's your creative outlets?
Well, it all started with like drawing comic strips. I love drawing comic strips, and I used to do that all the time when I was a kid. And in music, I used to write music lyrics in my notebooks all the time as well, next to drawing. Eventually, when I got older, like a teenager, I got into the production side of music and recording and things like that. And that's what really started all of the different creative directions. Once I started to produce and record my own music, I wanted to film my own music videos. I wanted to direct the different projects that my music's going for, because I always wanted to score movies. So I started to learn about the production, the way to produce movies and write movies and scripts and things like that, and different camera techniques. I went to school a little bit for it. But yeah, it all started with me making the music and needing somewhere to put it without actually having to apply for record labels or find someone to give me the platform. I wanted to always create it myself. So that's really what led on to learning more and more. I'm like, okay, I need this now. I'm going to learn how to do this. I was a photographer, needed to learn how to retouch and edit and do all that. So yeah, I just filled in all the gaps with more knowledge. And now it's at a point where for bigger productions, I know how to hire people to take certain jobs because I've done them before. So yeah, I'm like, if I'm going to be an artist, I'm going to go all in, and I'm going to learn as much about creating and the creative process as I can. So that's what really started that hunger to learn new crafts and new mediums and things like that.
Wow, that's amazing. So, and we know that this, NFT blockchain space allows you, like you said, to express all of those different creative aspects. And so what did creation look like for you before blockchain and NFTs and this kind of technology?
Well, half of it went to creating things for fun, and the other half went to freelance work. I did a lot of freelance work for a while. I had some creative jobs, like I've worked for Live Nation before. I've worked for, I've done things for Xfinity, like for their advertisements, and it's cool, but you never really get paid what you deserve with that. So that's when I started to do freelance, and that opened me up to more job opportunities and whatnot. But for the most part, I tried to create my own art and then find places to sell it, or do like music videos, animations for music videos or things like that. And then whenever I wasn't working on a bigger project, I'd have time to do more of my like free, fun art that isn't for anything in particular. And that's where my best stuff is, obviously, because it's just my imagination, and I'm not trying to sell, a bag of chips with a crazy animation. So for the most part, yeah, it was work and then some free art. Work, free art, figuring out how to make the business work, a little bit of free art. And yeah, once NFTs came into the picture, my free art now had a higher demand again. I didn't have to necessarily put so much overhead payment to get the art ready to sell, because usually you have to create it, make it perfect, print it out like 5 times to make sure the colors come right, or if you make your own prints, you got to go through that process. Then you need the gallery space to display it, and then comes the person that purchases it. And it's just so much in between creating the piece and getting it to the person that NFTs kind of eliminated or made easier, especially when you do animations, because that's still not a typical thing, selling animations on screens or animations for people to just have for displaying purposes. So NFTs filled a lot of those gaps. And yeah, and I've always been into VR, AR, and the metaverse, and seeing NFTs just solve so many gaps in my mind about monetization and digital goods or digital assets, like cars and GTA that only 5 people can have, something, the same concept, but now it has a real world value. So all the money you put into your game or your virtual world is transferable to your fiat physical world, and that's just amazing. So that's what got me into it.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So what are some of your favorite platforms for exhibiting your work, spending time in, or just sharing it with an audience?
I'm kind of a rebel, so like I loved OpenSea. I still love OpenSea. OpenSea is amazing because it's like the index of everything on Ethereum. But Super Rare is great. I'm not gonna lie, I love the kind of exclusivity of it. You're not gonna have your art next to someone who just threw something together in an app and trying to sell it at a ridiculous price. It's more artists who kind of understand their own value, collectors who understand what they're looking for. So I really appreciate that about Super Rare, and I don't mind putting some of my most valued stuff there. But other than that, I really like some of the alternative marketplaces like NFT Showroom on Hive. Ghost Market on Phantasma is really cool, and even Hic et Nook or Hen on Tezos is pretty cool. It's just because that one's really experimental, and it's really cool to see what a bare bones decentralized platform behaves like, because a lot of the platforms we used to have been tested and they've been around for a minute. That's new, and that's really naked, and all the features of it are actually separate from the actual platform. So it's really cool to see what happens with that and what kind of art is placed there when only a few people know about it, things like that.
Low-key giant.
Well, I got into crypto in 2017 during the initial Bitcoin bull run, that first one. And I always held some tokens since then, but I kind of put the technology on the back burner because, you know, it was over after the crash, and then everyone was like, all right, back to regular life now. And I was kind of the same way. But I remember during that research, I learned about different things or different ways that artists were using blockchain technology to authenticate their art via scannable stickers. And after things started to shut down in 2020, I was always prepared to go virtual. You know, like that was never a new thing. But I wanted to find a way to have an edge on it. And at that time, I was looking at other investments, other cryptocurrencies to get into. Ethereum was still under $200 at the time. And I was like, well, I know Ethereum's going to do great. So I got really into Ethereum and the technology behind it. And then when I started looking at art and Ethereum, OpenSea came up. And I was like, well, this is great. It's like Instagram, except you have the potential to actually make some money off of your own work versus Facebook getting to make all the money off your own work. So I threw some pieces on OpenSea to just see what happens. And a couple collectors. We have Pharaoh from NFT.Black was one of my first collectors. Lander was one of my first collectors. And after that, they kind of brought me into the game. Some taught me the ropes, taught me like what this really was. They're like, Pharaoh was telling me like, yo, you don't know what you just stepped into. He's like, yeah, it's art and all that, but dude, no, listen. And he was telling me about what was going on in Asia, because it was huge at the time in Asia, and how he was showing me different artists who would drop like a card series that would sell out in hours. And I'm like, what? I'm like, this is a thing? And so I was all in. I was like, there's nothing else going on in the world. Everything's locked down. So I'm like, I'm going to learn about this and I'm going to get into this because it makes sense for what I'm trying to do, bigger picture.